Greetings film fans and JPC News viewers, welcome to Not Too Critical Reviews. I'm your host Renard, and as the Oscars approach, pundits everywhere have been analyzing the numerous industry guild awards that have shown varying degrees of predicting their corresponding Oscar categories. Successful or not, what cannot be denied is that industry workers, not mere critics like me, populate these guilds and vote for their awards, which is equally the case for the illustrious Academy Awards. Now, I'm recording this podcast, or rather series of podcasts, after many of these guilds have announced their awards, some even a month ago. So consider this less of an update and more of a reflection, a contemplation, a consideration of these victories now that Oscar Sunday is all that's left on the horizon, barring a couple of guilds here and there. But most of the major ones have announced their stuff, so really all we're left with is the Oscar ceremony, so let's get into it. Here we go, the big three guilds: Producers Guild, Screen Actors Guild, and the Directors Guild. First, the PGA. The Producers Guild of America numbers around 6,000 to 7,000 members, roughly the same size as the Academy. For those of you who may not be aware, it's the producers of a film who are the ones to receive the Best Picture Oscar. So if you're part of the Guild of the Producers of the US of A, that means that you predict the eventual Best Picture winner, which in this industry is a pretty big deal. And just to get them out of the way, Amy won for documentary, Inside Out won for animation. They've been the two frontrunners in their categories since the beginning, so these two will very easily proceed all the way to the Oscar stage. This guild actually does a decent job of predicting Best Picture because out of the 26 times they've awarded media, they've differed from the Oscar only 7 times. They've been right since No Country for Old Men back in 2007, and when the Academy made changes to Best Picture that included the preferential vote, PGA also changed their rules likewise, making them even more similar. With that said, the winner of the Producers Guild of America for 2015 is The Big Short. Whoa. I mean, not really, since it's my fourth favorite film of 2015, but still. And we'll hold on, though, on the discussion because PGA is merely the first of the big three guilds. The second is the Screen Actors Guild, which combined with the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists make up the 160,000 members of SAG-AFTRA. A large voting pool, sure, but the likely small overlap with the Academy has made this guild the least reliable of the three with regards to Best Picture and determining who gets nominated for the acting Oscars. Yes, it's true that no film has won Best Picture without an ensemble nomination here since 1995's Braveheart, but only around 50% of the ensemble winners have gone on to actually win Best Picture. However, what does matter are the actual winners of the individual acting races. First, though, the Ensemble Award went to Spotlight. Long perceived to be a questionable Best Picture frontrunner, Spotlight losing any of the big three would have all but buried its Best Picture contention. Winning the least reliable of the three at least gives it a lifeline, even though that lifeline is probably provided by the AFTRA side of the guild due to the film centering on a group of journalists. Back to the individual categories, Leonardo DiCaprio won Best Actor for The Revenant. Best Actor at this guild hasn't been wrong since 2003, when SAG went for Johnny Depp for the first Pirates of the Caribbean film, and his contention with Bill Murray's Lost in Translation performance at the Oscars allowed Sean Penn's Mystic River performance to prevail in the end. So it's safe to say that Leo isn't losing. Prepare to say goodbye to all the memes. Best Actress went to Brie Larson for Room. The Golden Globes, BAFTA, and her undeniable talent and reputation allowed Meryl Streep's performance in The Iron Lady to overtake Viola Davis's SAG-winning performance in The Help from 2011. Otherwise, the guild hasn't been wrong since, and this year should be no different. Brie's locked. Best Supporting Actor went to Idris Elba for Beasts of No Nation, which is the very first time SAG went for a non-Oscar nominated performance, full stop. The current perceived frontrunner is Sylvester Stallone for reprising his Rocky character in Creed, and even though the Golden Globes and Critics' Choice normally wouldn't matter as much, their consensus pick of Stallone is enough, not to mention the standing ovations he had received at those ceremonies. However, since Stallone was snubbed at both SAG and BAFTA, and Elba was snubbed at the Oscars, many pundits wondered whether the performances in the Best Picture nominees, such as Bridge of Spies' Mark Rylance, or The Big Short's Christian Bale, would prevail instead. Going with Elba just proves that the actors, and thus the whole industry, will just stick with Stallone all the way to the Oscars stage. Rylance prevailing at BAFTA barely makes a difference, and that only happened because Bridge of Spies and Carol both had 9 BAFTA nominations, the most for that ceremony, and they felt it necessary to give one of them something. Stallone is probably not going to lose. Best Supporting Actress went to Alicia Vikander for her co-lead role in The Danish Girl. If she wins, it'll be for all of her 2015 performances, including Ex Machina, where she's actually a proper supporting lady, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Burnt, Testament of Youth, and as narrator for the Ingrid Bergman In Her Own Words documentary. However, Kate Winslet is creeping closely behind due to her Golden Globe and BAFTA victories, not to mention some voters wanting to see her and Leo prevail together at the Oscars. For the Academy, it's between Category Fraud, Vikander, and Sentiment, Winslet. and Vikander's SAG victory should be enough for her to claim victory next Sunday. Finally, there's the Directors Guild of America and its 16,000 members. It is by far the most reliable guild out there, failing to predict the Oscar winner only 7 times. Oh, and once more as an aside, their documentary awards surprisingly went to Matthew Heineman for Cartel Land instead of Asif Kapadia for Amy, while the newly established First Time Feature Film Award went to Alex Garland for Ex Machina. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel it's rather telling that there's not a single animation award at this guild. I'm just going to put that out there. The DGA's main award, on the other hand, went to Alejandro G. Iñárritu for The Revenant, even after Iñárritu won last year for Birdman. Sorry, Mad Max fans, but the other towering directorial achievement of 2015 will win the Best Director Oscar this year. As you can see, the big 3 guilds all split this year. PGA for The Big Short, SAG for Spotlight, and the DGA for The Revenant. I'd say this hasn't happened since 2013, but that doesn't count since Gravity and 12 Years a Slave tied at PGA. The true last time that the big 3 split properly was 2004 when The Aviator took PGA, Sideways took SAG, and the eventual Best Picture and Director Oscar winner Million Dollar Baby took the DGA for Clint Eastwood. This year's chaos amazes me. No one truly knows, even now with less than 1 week away from the Academy Awards, if we have an actual bona fide assured frontrunner. The Revenant may have the Golden Globes, BAFTA, DGA, and the momentum, but I'm not sure if it's safe to bet against the PGA's record and their mirroring preferential vote. Plus, The Big Short has been the only film to hit all of the big 3 guilds, along with Ace Eddie and the WGA, which signifies widespread industry support. The Revenant, while it may have Leo at SAG and also Tom Hardy at the Oscars, lacks the key SAG Ensemble nomination in addition to any writing notices anywhere, including BAFTA, where it won Best Film, Director, and Actor. It is safe, however, to say that Best Picture will likely be between The Big Short and The Revenant. We'll see in a few days. Thanks for tuning into these Oscar season update video podcasts. Have you seen any of the films that have been nominated and awarded by these guilds? What are your thoughts on the films, on the winners, and on the nominees? Please be sure to let us know in the comments section down below. Please also be sure to give this video a like, and also be sure to check out any of our show's previous episodes by subscribing to the JPC News channel and liking the JPC News Facebook page. I'm Renard, and this is another edition of Not Too Critical Reviews' Oscar season update video podcasts. See you next time.